you're not feeling comfortable yet for building your own backup battery system, then perhaps this all-in-one solution right here by Anker is what you need. Hey there, and welcome to Nuka Vault Readiness, the channel where we are trying to prepare for whenever an eventual no-grid apocalypse happens. Today we're going to be looking at the Anker Solix C1000 model backup battery all-in-one system here. Inside you get the system itself, which approximately measures about 15 wide by just shy of 11 tall and about 8 deep. You also get some of the paperwork here, which is your warranty card. You just scan the QR codes, takes you to the registration page. The user guide is not actually a user guide per se. You also have to download it, which I printed out, and printing on long edge, it's about 3 1/4 pages or so. There's not much to it. It's very straightforward manual. It's also a very straightforward system to work, which is great. And then you also get the different charging cables, such as the AC wall plug, the solar connector, and as you can see, each one of these has a QR code. I haven't scanned these yet, but I would venture to say it's either for the page for the particular part, or maybe there's a video on how to use these. Again, I have yet to do this. And the DC plug. So a few facts about the system itself. It has 2 USB-C ports right here, 2 USB-A style ports, the ones that are still square that you would see normally on your computer, right here. Here's the car socket. It has a light. Actually, that would be the button for the car socket. My mistake. We'll just go ahead and turn it on. And out of the box, it was at about 87%, so I did charge it. Only took about 20 minutes or so, maybe about 15 minutes to charge. Comes with a handy dandy light on the top here. It has SOS mode as well. It has a connection to your phone. You can download the app, which I do have, and at various points here I'll show you some screenshots of what it looks like on the manual, or excuse me, on the panel, the opening panel itself through the app. You get 6 AC plugs here. These 5 all the way on the left, or at least, yeah, the first 5 here. They're all rated at 1800 watts. That they can you can use for AC load. And the very last one, I believe, is called the surge pad. So this could take a load up to 2400 watts, which is great. And in a bit here, you'll see we are going to plug this up to a refrigerator freezer combo and run something heavy duty for as long as we can. On the side here, excuse me, Pluto. On the side here, we have the charging ports. Here's your AC. This is actually a reset button right here to reset the entire product. Sometimes it happens to do with not overcharging, but if the AC doesn't quite register. That's what I read in the manual. Have not had to use it yet, thank goodness. And this is the solar input right here, which it states if your solar is 11 to 32 volts, it has a 10 amp input. And if it's 32 to 60 volts, it's 12.5 amp input. Takes up to 600 watts max for solar, which is a good amount considering this unit right here is only 1056 watt hours. Pretty much the equivalent to a 12.8 volt 50 amp hour battery. I take that back. I think I did the math wrong. 12.8 at 100 amps would be 1200, so it's actually just shy of that. So it's probably closer to like an 80 amp hour battery. You can expand this system. Right here is the plug to buy the accessory battery that sits on top, and it will double this capacity, making it very close to a 200 amp hour capacity at 12.8 volts. So I think it ends up coming to 2,112 watt hours total with an expanded battery. So it is a little bulky. It's just shy of 30 pounds, so it's got some weight to it. But overall, it's got just a plastic frame around it. As you can see on the side here again, I'll move it back over. I cannot tell if this is a heat sink or something similar to that, something that diffuses the heat. It feels like it, so I'm not sure though. But I do know you'll get a workout if you have to keep moving this back and forward. So, and again, nice easy to read display there, and I'll show you momentarily. You'll see how it charges up, and you'll be able to read all that also on the front as well. So, like I said, our big experiment we're going to be running this on is we're going to hook it up to my fridge and freezer combo. Unless you have been living under a rock, you know, in about the last 10 days or so, or about 10 days ago, the Hurricane Storm Beryl came through southern U.S. and eventually made its way across most of the land and ended up somewhere in the Northeast, I believe. I am personally located in the South. We were hit here. We were about 80 hours total without power, and running my older solar bank, battery bank EcoFlow setup along with an inverter generator, we were fortunately able to keep fridge, freezer, and a small stand-up freezer running, fans enough to keep us cool, and thankfully the house is very well insulated. So was not super comfortable, but we made it and saved all the food, so thank goodness for that. Hence, after the storm, sat down, crunched some numbers, and decided to buy a bigger unit, because my EcoFlow is only about 576 watt hours, so we have close to double the capacity here, and want to go with a different brand, just because I know that the brands now also have this rapid charging technology, which Anker is one of those, and you will see here coming up in a test here. So let's go ahead and get the experiment started, and stick around, guys, because this is going to get really interesting. All right, so here we are in the kitchen. Got the Anker set up just on a little makeshift stool there on one of my utility containers there. And so what we're going to be plugging in is this French door style with a bottom freezer pull-out drawer. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be plugging it into one of the regular AC outlets instead of the extra surge outlet here. I believe this one is rated for up to 2,400 watts for your larger appliances, whereas these will do up to 1,800 watts. So first thing we need to do is we're going to make sure we turn on the AC part. As you see, we're still at 100%. And this right here shows you it is connected to the phone through the app, which I'll try to put screenshots up here momentarily once we plug it in. And here we go. This fridge, by the way, is rated at, I believe it's about 1,100 watts. And that's going to be over a 24-hour period. So that's 1.1 kilowatts is what I've gotten before on a watt meter, power meter that you would plug into your AC plug, you know, to help register your appliances. Anyway, so let's give it a go and let's see what we get. All right. Should be on, so there we go. That beep you just heard was actually the fridge turning on. And let's see if we can see the screen here. So it should be on. and it looks like it is giving info to the phone itself. So the information is not on the screen. So I will try to supply you with some live screenshot here of what it looks like once it's plugged in. And we're going to try to let this run overnight. It's actually kind of late. It is about 1:27 in the morning. Apologies about the noise you hear over there. That would be the dishwasher going late at night. So stay tuned and we'll see how this test runs. Alright guys, we are back and it is now about, let's see, it is 10:10 in the morning. So we've been at this for a little over 8 hours now, close to about 8.5. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to check here. I've done some screenshots for y'all so you can see it kind of at pinpoint through the night. But if you look, we're at 34%. It's running at 99 watts right now, and it has 3.1 hours remaining. So overnight was a success, or at least late morning into now. Fridge has been on, plugged in all night. And this time I actually did turn the ice maker on. So it's probably pulling more power than I originally have tested it, where again it runs about 1.1, 1.2 kilowatts over a 24-hour period. Did not have the ice maker turned on at that time, so I've put on a little bit more of a strain so we can fully test this and see how fast we can go, or excuse me, how far we can go with this. So I'm going to leave it plugged in, and we're pretty much going to drain it down. I'll at least get it down to about 10% or so instead of completely depleting it. And I'll get back with y'all and we'll see what kind of time we have once we reach it. All right, we are at 11:51 a.m. About 10.5 hours into it now, and I just got the alert. I'll put the screenshot on screen. I actually got the alert that it's at 10%, and it's suggesting to charge it to further continue the use. I don't know if you saw it on there on the screen. It had like 20 minutes left, and it was running currently at 430 something watts. So we're going to go ahead and call it and stop it here. And now we will charge it, see how long it takes to charge via AC from the grid. All right, so now we are going to go ahead and charge it up via the AC outlet, aka the grid. And the cool thing about the Anker Solix is that you can actually change the wattage rating on its input. I don't remember what the top level is. I'll have to go look at it real quick again. But I think it's currently set at 1,000 watts input. So let's go ahead and plug it in. The system's off, and it should come right on. As you see, there it is. Probably heard it click on. You can hear the slow hum, and look, within a few seconds, we're already up to 941 watts. And it's at 9%. That's where we had it right when we took it off the refrigerator. And if you see there, it's only going to take 1.1 hours to charge us up to 100%. So we are currently looking at 2:08 p.m. So let's see if that's correct. We should be looking at about 3:15 then, and we'll be at 100%. Stay tuned. Okay, so the generator just shut off probably about 1 minute before filming, and we are looking at 3:28. So about an hour and 20 minutes, pretty much on the dot. And we're at 100%. I kept looking at the screen, and when it hit about 98%, the wattage dropped down to about 600 watts. And then during the last, from 99% to 100, it dropped to 100 or so watts. And that's usually typical when it starts trying to top out. A lithium iron phosphate battery it starts to trickle. The input trickles in slower as it tops the battery off. So hour and 20 minutes, Not bad at all in the timing. Again, charging via the grid, 1,000 watt setting input. So in my book, this would be great if you're having in a situation where you've got brownouts and you've got, some electricity and it goes off and on, off and on. You can get this charged up in about an hour. And if you had to run it off a generator and again plug it in through the AC, you're still looking at only probably a shy over an hour. Have not tried plugging it in and charging it through DC yet, which would be your car's charging port. And also there is a solar, of course, aspect to this. And it has a maximum input for your solar panels of 600 watts. So if at 1,000 watts, we're saying it gets, or it charges in about an hour and 20 to an hour and a half, and 600 watts on panels, which usually you do not get a full 100% efficiency anyway. I would venture to say it will probably take a few hours, probably more like 3 or 4, to get this thing fully charged up, and that would be on a clear sunny day, no obstructions whatsoever. But overall, this is a great plus in my opinion. There we have it, the Anker Solix C1000. In my book, this is definitely a thumbs up, definitely a recommendation. As much as I love my EcoFlow that I've had for approximately the last 2 years, EcoFlow works great for the camping trips to run either a small fan in the tent or something of that nature. Personal swamp cooler, we've used that. Of course, for here in the South, it gets pretty warm when you want to do tent camping, or heck, even sitting in the back of the car, it works great. But this will probably replace the EcoFlow, and definitely in those grid down brownout situations. As you can see, this does run a fridge freezer combo. Again, approximately 10.5 or so hours, and that was really pushing it. I can probably even get it to last a bit longer by not running the ice like I did, and probably push it past 12 hours. And which again it's not bad at all, leaving it completely plugged in throughout the entire time. So, and the fast charging is just an even better plus to me. Hour and 20, hour and a half, getting it plugged in a situation of having a brownout is remarkable, because you sometimes just need the speed and just got to get things done quick, because it's all about efficiency and it's all about timing it just right. Guys, I hope you found this informational. If you found it also helpful, I appreciate if you'd share it, and always remember, be getting ready. We'll see you around next time.